still remain, focused that they may pass the ball every once in a while. They've, thrown 8 passes for 33 completions, or 8 completions for 33 passes this year. So they don't pass a lot, but when they do, just like Gallaudet did last week, it was kind of a surprise to our guys, and you got to be ready for it.
Number 30, Diego Dietrich, out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, is the kickoff guy, the kick man, the punter, the place kicker and kickoff man for SUNY Maritime. He will tee the ball up at the 35-yard line. Norwich dropping number 81, Tristan Collare, and number 3, Sam Chaves, back to receive the kickoff. Cadets begin the second half of the season, 2-3 the record, 1-1 in the league, and they start it with Maritime. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Forward into the ball, Dietrich. And booms a spiraling end-over-end kick, and Chaves lets it bounce through the end zone. And Norwich will get the ball with a 1st and 10. They will be starting from their own 25-yard line here.
That's one of the longest kicks I think we've seen on a kickoff all year.
Didn't get a lot of elevation out of it, but he got a lot of distance.
Yeah, he sure did.
So the Norwich offense onto the field. We look for the quarterback to be Kean Foley, the junior out of Haymet, Massachusetts, at 6 feet, 185 pounds. 2 running backs as he starts it with Al Giorgio to his left and Mike Cavanaugh to his right. And they hand the ball up, and it's not Cavanaugh in the backfield. It's the freshman on the carry up the middle. And the gain is a good one for number 33, James Dana Millen. Millen picked up about 8 yards on the first carry. Norwich with a 2nd down and 2.
Yeah, we talked about Millen a lot in the last couple of weeks. He's an exciting runner. He gets things going. He carried the ball only a couple times last week and picked up 8 or 10 in a clip.
Now Foley on the quarterback keeper, and he breaks it at the 40. At the 30, being chased, tries to avoid a tackler, taken down inside the 15-yard line. Kean Foley breaks it on the quarterback draw after the fake in the backfield. We'll look at this again right here, Billy. He fakes it and then takes it, and this is very Chris Saber.
Yeah, there you go. Nice play action. He finds the seam, and now he cuts back into the middle. Once he gets into the middle, he just takes off. It's pretty wide open.
Back to live action. Foley hands the ball off up the middle, and it is Cavanaugh on the carry, and Cavanaugh got it down around the 11-yard line for a pickup of about 3. It'll be 2nd down. Actually, 2nd down about 7 here for the Cadets at the Maritime 11-yard line. Foley in the gun. Al Giorgio sets up to his left. Cavanaugh is winged out to the right side, and Foley keeps it again. Not much this time. Got to the 10-yard line, wrapped up by a host of privateers, including stepping in there for Maritime number 51, who is Duke Alvora, junior out of Harrison, New York. Going to mark the ball at the 10. And the Cadets have a 3rd down, and it's still close to 7 yards to go.
Yeah, one of the things Foley did there, though, is you can't stop once you get to the line. He kind of stopped, and he started looking around for somewhere to go. And once you do that, you're pretty much open for gang tackling.
Foley to throw, pump fakes, fires, end zone, touchdown. Dan Jamison from 10 yards out, and a minute and 45 seconds into the game, Norwich has a 6-0 lead.
Yeah, and George, that kind of falls in line with the playing all 4 quarters. We haven't done that very much at all this year. We certainly didn't do it last weekend down in Washington, D.C., but that's how you want to start this football game. Put the onus on them now to come back and score some points on our defense.
Extra point kick by Wes Medeiros is up and good, and Norwich has a 7-0 lead. Let's take a look at the touchdown, Bill.
And again, we talked about it before. Look, Foley has time. He's got very good technique. He throws the ball well. If you give him some time, he can, and he finds his receivers and makes good decisions by not throwing it into double coverage. He can put the ball in the end zone. So a nice play by the young, experience-wise quarterback and junior quarterback Foley.
So he had the big run that got them down into the red zone and then throws the touchdown pass. And Norwich out and running in a 7-0 lead here before you can blink this afternoon at Sabine. Haven't really talked about the weather. It was partly sunny earlier. It's clouded up a little bit. There is a forecast for some showers possible, but not expected until very late in the day. Very little wind here this afternoon as well. We had some wind earlier blowing from right to left, but flag virtually hanging limp out there. And
I mean, right now it's beautiful conditions. Yeah, beautiful conditions for a football game. College football on Saturday afternoon. Can't beat it, George.
So here is Wes Medeiros now to kick the football away for Norwich. And the ball to the far sideline and fielded at the 20-yard line. And they go a reverse on a handoff. Ball carrier busts it into a seam and out over the 40, but we got a flag on the play. They handed the ball off. Number 33, Mike Tuma, fielded the football and handed it off to number 23, Chris Class. Class took it out to the 47, but a flag, and this is coming back.
Yeah, and actually the Norwich defense did a good job of maintaining their contain over here on the, I guess it's the left side of the field. He made a nice play out there and forced the runner back to the middle. Even though he picked up more yardage, it still forced him back to the middle where your pursuit can make the tackle and stop him.
First down, Maritime.
Penalty on the return, takes the ball back, and Maritime loses a lot of yardage. They'll take it all the way back to their own 24-yard line, and that's where they'll take over with a first down.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to have time to see it on replay or not.
The quarterback up under center, number 14, Ryan Heisman, freshman out of Commack, New York. Brings a man in motion and hands it off. First man, it is the fullback, and a nice gain out to the 35-yard line. Number 35, Kyle Gardner. That's the most basic play. It's a pickup of 11 yards and a first down. That's the most basic play running out of this formation is the belly series to the fullback.
Right, you got it. That's your first responsibility is the dive guy. Gardner is he's their offensive leader with 490 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. He's been averaging like 98 yards per game and 5.8 yards per carry. So he's a tough, strong runner.
First down now, Maritime from their own 35. Heisman under center. Little motion. Now fakes the handoff. He's back to throw. Airs it out. Has a man there. He's got him out at the 35-yard line and down to the 30. That is a completion of number 18, Sean Belsky, 6'2 senior out of West Islip, New York. Running team throws the ball on the second play, Bill.
Yeah, and we talked about it again in the pregame, George. You know, you've got to stay focused. You've got to be aware that this guy can throw the football. They don't throw it a lot, but when they do, he's very accurate and picks up a huge first down there.
Now a first down at the Norwich 30-yard line. Heisman up under center. Takes it and keeps it himself on the option and will drag tacklers inside the 25-yard line. Ethan Hanks was hanging on his back, but a nice gain for the quarterback Heisman. He picked up 6. Second down and 4 coming up for Maritime.
Yeah, and you can tell he's run this offense before. He's let's see, Heisman's a junior, I believe, or no, he's a freshman.
He's a freshman.
6'1", 203. It looks like he had some high school experience with it, but he's a big kid, and you're right. He carried a couple defensemen with him.
Now hands the ball off up the middle to the fullback Gardner. And Gardner is short of the first down. He got down to the 21-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and 1 coming up for the Privateers. For Norwich, number 67 in on the defensive stop. Adam Cox, or check that, Bruce Mackey, the junior out of Fort Valley, Georgia, in on the hit. Now it is 3rd and a yard. Heisman takes it and gave it again to the fullback. They've got the first down and more down inside the 15-yard line. Again, Gardner on the carry. Number 90, Japheth Salukwe in on the defensive stop for Norwich. But it'll be 1st and 10 for Maritime as they have quickly moved it to the Cadet 14-yard line.
You know, if you remember, George, a couple weeks ago, we were in the same position with the Norwich defense being backed up down here on the, inside the red zone several times, maybe 5 or 6 during the game, and they made the stop. So they got their work cut out for them this afternoon.
Heisman up under center. Gardner, the fullback, wings to either side. And they give it again to Gardner up the middle, and the big guy bangs his way inside the 10, and he's down to about the 7-yard line.
He's number 69 there lost his helmet, so he's going to have to come out of the game.
For Norwich coming off, that's Kyle Finesti coming off to the near side. The gain for Gardner is 7 yards at second down and 3 for Maritime at the Norwich 7. Gardner, 5'10 junior out of Amityville, New York, and he's been a horror so far to the Cadets.
Yeah, he's a tough, strong runner, that's for sure. A lot of New York people on that roster.
Second down and short. 2nd and 3 at the Norwich 7. Heisman under center. Brings a man in motion, and the handoff again up the middle to the fullback, scrambling for secondary yardage, and he's got the first down. They're going to put the thing down at the 3-yard line. It is 1st and goal for the Privateers.
Yeah, and based on what we saw in the warm-ups, Georgia, they're not afraid to use their kicker. I don't believe he's got a nice strong leg on him.
Now Heisman resetting the play on a 1st and goal from the 3. Brings a man in motion, but they give it to Gardner, a big hole in the left side, and he takes it into the end zone for the touchdown. And Maritime quickly answers the Cadets. 9:44 left in the first quarter, and it's 7-6.
Yeah, that's what this game is all about. I mean, that was good coaching. That's exactly how you're supposed to respond. You just take the ball down the field, run it, open up some holes and run it down the field. They had a nice long pass. They diversified their plays and put the ball in the end zone.
Now the extra point kick here by Dietrich. The holder is Frank Leno, one of the running backs. Snap, ball down, boot in the air, plenty of leg, and good. So with 9:44 left in the first quarter, we are tied at 7. Here's the touchdown, Billy, and it was a huge hole.
Yeah, just they're focusing on the dive guy, even though, and he went out to the tackle side a little bit. Just kind of once he got the ball in the dive position there, he just kind of broke a little bit to the left, got to the outside tackle, and nothing there, and walked into the end zone.
So both teams move it down the field. 2 big plays. The big run for the Cadets by Foley that got them down into the red zone, and the pass play on the second play from scrimmage as Heisman hooked up with his outside receiver Belsky, and that got them down there, and then they went back to the ground game and just kind of blew holes in the Norwich defense.
Yeah, that last 30 or 40 yards it went pretty quickly.
All right, it will be Dietrich to tee the ball up again at the 35. Again, Shaves and Tristan Collier back to receive the kick here for the Cadets. 7-7 game on the turf at Haynes Family Stadium, Sabine Field. And the booming kick end over end. This will be returnable. Chaves at the 10. He fakes the reverse, keeps it himself. 20 to the outside and struggles forward close to the 25-yard line. Pushed back at about the 24. We get a little extracurricular as Norwich's Mike Cavanaugh planted Maritime's number 19, Bo Warrington, to the field. Put it at the 24-yard line, and the Cadets take over with a 1st and 10. Again, the backs, Giorgio and Cavanaugh. We saw Milan on the first play for 8 yards. Haven't seen him since. First down for Foley. Takes it and hands it off. Cavanaugh looking for room. Finds a little out over the 25 and out to about the 26-yard line. Number of the Privateers in on the defensive stop. Again, Duke Alvora, 6'2", junior linebacker out of Harrison, New York, at the bottom of the pile. Gain of 2 yards, 2nd down and 8 for the Norwich offense at their own 26. Kean Foley, the quarterback, takes the snap and hands it off. Giorgio, big hole. And Al Giorgio has the first down as he takes it out over the 35 and out to the 37-yard line.
We know Giorgio's got a lot of speed and he's quick in the inside there. So if you get him the ball and you open up a little hole, he's gonna make something of it.
Cadets going quickly. We don't have time to look at replays when they have the ball with this hurry-up offense.
Yep, doing that hurry-up offense.
Here's Foley to throw, gets it out. This is Milan back in the game, and the freshman back hurdling over a tackler to the 44-yard line. Picked up 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3 for the Cadets as Foley tossed it out to Milan, who stays in the game now. He sets up to Foley's right. Giorgio to his left. And they give it to Giorgio, running it right. Trying to get to the corner. He won't. He is grabbed and dragged down. No gain. Number 11 on the defensive side of the ball for the Privateers, Nick Coffey, junior out of Wilmington, Delaware, in on the stop. And now the Cadets will have a third down coming up. It's going to be 3rd and 3. 3rd and 3, Norwich at their own 44. Foley in the gun. Single back is Giorgio. Foley looking to throw for it. Pump fakes. Now rolls out to the left. He's going to try to run for it. Gets to the 44, and that is it. And he took a big hit from number 54, Cameron Knight. Sophomore out of Clayton, North Carolina. Foley took a solid pop.
Yeah, it looked like 54 kind of popped his shoulder, too. But I'll tell you what, that was a form tackle, a very clean, great hit. He really leveled Foley.
Yeah, Cameron Knight hanging that arm as he goes off to the far sideline. Norwich will have to punt. Here's Drew Baniskevich for the first time this afternoon on a 4th and 3 from their own 44. The snap, a good one. Line drive kick. Number 21, Ken Perro, will pick it up on a hop. Breaks the first tackle partially, but then slung to the turf. He almost got away, but not quite, from Norwich's man back on the coverage, who was number 46, Jalan Bell Walker, freshman out of Lithonia, Georgia.
Yeah, great coverage by the kicking team there. I tell you, George, we look at the switching in and out the running backs, and we talk about Milan. Milan's got a lot of talent. I think the coaches are recognizing that. But you can see he's not sure where he needs to be yet. But get him the football, and he can run.
All right, the Privateers start from their own 18-yard line, bringing a man in motion. Now they'll reset him. That's Ken Paro. And it is the option, and the toss it outside to Leno. Leno to the sideline. Nice gain. Bumped out of bounds. Takes it out over the 25 and out to the 27. And he is close to the first down. The run for number 2, who is Frank Leno, senior back out of Rockaway, Long Island.
Yeah, and on that play, the receiver for the Maritime team, he got out and made a nice block on the cornerback. And that quarterback, he's got responsibility to come up and take that pitch man. So that's an important key block. And he made a nice block there to pick up a couple extra yards.
Gain of 9. It is 2nd down and 1 for the Privateers. And they faked the handoff to the fullback. Quarterback kept it himself. And I don't know if he got there. It's going to be close.
I don't think he made it.
He's getting a very good spot, though. He's getting a real good spot, and he did get it. It is a first down for the Privateers at their own 29-yard line. So Jimmy LaBelle was in there along with a host of cadets on the hit. Not much, but enough for Heisman to pick up the first down. Now he is up under center, 1st and 10 from his own 29. Brings Ken Amora in motion, tosses him the football, and he's going to be wrapped up in the backfield. Ball's loose on the field. Pile up for it. Let's see. At the 30-yard line, the officials unpiling everybody. No indication yet. It is a Norwich football. Cadets recover the fumble by Greg Canaparo, their junior running back, and the Cadets will have the ball at the Maritime 30-yard line. We'll get a look at this again.
Yeah, it looks like they ran a counter play, starting out to the right side on the option, and then he pitches quick pitch back to the halfback. Now, see, number 9, he lost contain there, the defensive end, and then he got a host of cadets came in. The ball popped out, and it looked like number 51 maybe.
Yeah, that's Jimmy LaBelle.
Yeah, it looked like Jimmy LaBelle was the one that recovered it.
So the Cadets have it at the Maritime 30 with a first down, 6:20 to play in the first quarter, tied at 7. Foley in the gun. They bring Kavanaugh in motion, and the play fake. And down the middle, man there, underthrown pass and incomplete. It was intended for number 22, the freshman Pierre Noel, wide receiver out of Manchester, New Hampshire. And it got there a little late because he was open, Billy. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
He was open, just a little bit late. But I tell you, Foley's getting a lot more confidence. Every game he has, and that's to be expected. He's getting more experience, more time out on the field, and making better decisions. like I said many times, he's got the tools to be a very good quarterback.
Second down play, low snap. Foley will take it himself and got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Stacked up. That looked like a broken play, although you can never tell if he actually was going to fake it to the running back and take it himself anyway. But
I think the snap was not that great, and I think he had a hard time handling the ball, so it threw off all his timing as he was getting ready to execute that play.
So Norwich into a 3rd and 10 now at the Maritime 30-yard line. Foley in the gun, Giorgio to his right, 3 receivers to the left, Kavanaugh in a slot. And Foley to throw, looking right side, underthrows. He was trying to toss it out in the flat to Al Giorgio, but missed him on the short throw, and it is 4th down. Now the line of scrimmage is the 30. And is Norwich going to go for the field goal? They are here with the freshman kicker, Wes Medeiros.
Well, this is going to be his real first test on
first real long one.
Absolutely.
Medeiros has hit a couple this year in the 30-plus range, but this will be a 47-yard kick from the right hash mark.
He's got a great reputation coming out of high school into this program, so
they get it down. The kick is in the air. It is long enough, and it is good. Wes Medeiros from 47 yards away, and the Cadets lead it 10-7.
Can't beat that, George. You know, Parents' Weekend, a freshman with a great reputation coming in, and he just sticks it. Way to go, kiddo. Way to go.
Wes Medeiros, who is from Guilford, New Hampshire, but played his prep high school football in North Carolina, and he came out as one of the top kickers out of the state of North Carolina, and he just showed us why right there.
I didn't know if it was going to be long enough. It just kept floating, though.
I thought it had plenty of leg, and it almost didn't, but it was true over the middle of the bar and made it in.
Was.
And Medeiros from 47 has given Norwich the lead here at 10-7.
And I see his parents at every game. I always talk to his parents, so I know they're proud of their son here today on Parents' Weekend.
Wes Medeiros, who came in, as you said, it was funny. It was sometime last winter during the hockey season. I was over in the sports information office, and Coach Murniak walked by, and I said, "So how's recruiting going? How you doing?" He said, "I think we got a kicker. I think we got a good kicker." A kid out of North Carolina. And
yeah, because we certainly got spoiled when Long Ding was here.
Here's an end-over-end kickoff now. It will be fielded. And running it back is Class. Class stepping into a hole, which is slammed shut, and he is taken down short of the 30-yard line. Number 20 for the Cadets, Eleazar Roseo, the sophomore linebacker out of Cooper City, Florida, closed that hole, and the Privateers will have the football with a 1st and 10. And they'll have it at their own 28-yard line.
Yeah, great play by Rosario. Jimmy LaBelle was down there too. He ran right by the runner. He couldn't stop himself, but he was all out down there. So good coverage by the Cadets.
Here's Heisman on the first down play. Keeps it on the option. Turns it upfield over the 30 and got out to about the 31, 32-yard line. Several Norwich defenders in there, including junior linebacker Matt Lefevre. Gain of 3, close to 4 yards. Second down along 6 here for Maritime. Norwich turned the turnover by the Privateers into 3 points. They lead here 10-7. Still over 4.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. And the handoff to the fullback Gardner. And Norwich slammed the door on him a little bit right there. He had his way on their first possession. Gets this one out to the 35. It'll be a 3rd down. It's 3rd and a long 3 here for Maritime. 3rd and a long 3 at their own 35. Ryan Heisman, the freshman quarterback, up under center. Brings a man in motion, and they hand it off, and Gardner got nothing. He got nothing down at the bottom of the pile. I'm waiting for it to unpile. The cadet who made the initial contact was number 51, Jimmy LaBelle. From his linebacker spot, it is 4th down, and the Privateers are going to have to punt the football.
Yeah, and, you know, great play by the defensive line. They're starting to penetrate, and they're starting to key in on that dive man. There's the Pulaski and Mackey and Delicato. They're all staying home and playing as a team out there. And great job by
LaBelle.
Yeah, Jimmy LaBelle.
Now here's the punter, who is John Arney. A high, booming kick, bouncing around. That better get covered. There's contact, and I think they may be calling Maritime for interference with Norwich's opportunity to catch. Down the field for Maritime was number 19, Bo Warrington.
Yeah.
Two cadets were in the area. One of them was number 9, Gary Gladden. The other was Tristan Calaire.
I actually thought that hit Gladden. I don't know what they're going to call here, but it looked like it hit Gladden in the back of the leg, and then the Maritime guy was trying to recover. I don't know what they're going to call, George.
Here's the referee's announcement.
Maritime, 15-yard spot of the foul.
Interference with the catching of the
go.
football. 15-yard penalty against Maritime. So that'll help.
That's why your demand, George.
Well, on that
Good
call,
call.
as they say, even a blind squirrel will occasionally mark it at the 43-yard line after the penalty, and the Cadets start with a first down.
Yeah, good break for the Cadets.
They've got Milan it is one of the running backs. Al Giorgio is the other. Foley in the gun. They bring Calaire in motion, left to right, and the handoff goes to Giorgio. Steps into a hole, 50, 40, 30. It's a race, 20, 10. Touchdown, Norwich, Al Giorgio.
That's what we talked about all season long, is if you get him a little slot, he's quick and he can get through it. And once he's through it, you're going to have a hard time catching him. Great run by Al Giorgio.
3:22 remaining in the first quarter. Norwich leads 16-7 on a 57-yard run by Al Giorgio.
I'm sure this is going to come up here in a second after the
Well, let's get the extra point.
Yep.
Medeiros for the kick. Foley to hold. They get it down. The boot in the air. The kick is good. It is 17-7 Norwich. And now we'll take a look at Al Giorgio.
Just a simple handoff to Giorgio. Look at this block here. Cuts in. He's got a seam right there, and then he just turns on the jets. He's gone. Nobody on that team's going to catch him.
That was just a race. And
yeah, I'm trying to see who the tackle was on the left side that made that block, but he pushed that defensive tackle right out of the way and opened that up for Giorgio. I don't know if it was Matt Gallagher or Colin Young over there. Let's check and see if we can see it. I guess it's not going to come.
I don't know if we can get one more look at the run here. Ben, let's see.
Let's see. Who is he here? Watch that block right there. See him pushing him right out? Can't pick up the number.
Can't pick up the number, but it was a heck of a block.
Yep.
Opened up the hole. And Giorgio, I guess I haven't appreciated how fast El Giorgio is. That was
fast.
blazing speed.
Yeah, if you get him a little piece to run on, he can fly. I tell you, he's small, but boy, he's fast. So let's give credit to the block for the whole offensive line there. Okay, so Pete Gill, Jim Short, Callinger, and Matt Gallagher up front, and Colin Young. So let's give them all credit on that one.
Medeiros kicks it away, and it is fielded on the far side by Class. Trying to step it to the middle. That's a play they like to use, and not much on it this time. He'll be wrapped up short of the 30-yard line. And Maritime takes over with a 1st and 10. First down for the Privateers. Trailing 17-7. Norwich has had the ball 4 times in the first quarter, Billy, and they've scored on 3 of them.
And that's great for this team. They needed that. They haven't been that productive on offense this year, and that's a good trend right now.
All right, here's Heisman up under center. First down from his own 29 on the option. Looking to toss it. He tosses it wildly. Chasing it back is Leno, and he lands on the ball all the way back at the 15-yard line. You talked about Heisman looking like a quarterback who's used to playing the option, Billy, but he didn't look like it on that play.
And that's caused by pressure. A lot. You get a little. I think you got a little of the interior, the Cadet defense interior line putting a little pressure on him.
See if we can see that again.
Yeah, let's see if we can see that one. See if there's any pressure.
He stepped up into it, and the toss was very high and errant.
Yep.
So the ball is all the way back to the 15. And it is a 2nd down and 24 now for the Privateers. Heisman up under center. Gardner sets up behind him. Man in motion is Leno. They give it to Gardner up the middle out over the 20 and now the 21-yard line. Bottom of the pile for the Cadets again. Number 67, Bruce Mackey, the junior out of Fort Valley, Georgia.
Yeah, you see he got a little pressure when he tried to, he, like you said, he came forward. He saw the linebacker standing there, and then he pitched it late, and the runner had already gone by. He wasn't even in the air. Watch this guy. He's right there, number 19's right there. He just throws it back out way over his head, way behind him, and never had a chance to get the ball.
All right, it is third down and about 18 here for the Privateers. And back to throw, rolling to the right is to the left is Heisman, fires and completes the pass short of the first down. The reception for number 81, Dan Fleischman, and he got popped by Norwich's Louis Delgado. Gain is out to the 32-yard line, but it's still a 4th down and 7, and Maritime will have to punt for the second time.
Yeah, once again, Delgado leading that defense out there, the defensive captain. Nice hit, great play, and forces the Maritime team to kick.
John Arney, the punter, freshman out of Metuchen, New Jersey. Tristan Colaire is back to receive the punt, which was fielded on a hop. Colaire grabs it at the 37 to the 45, spins off a tackler, now taken down at the 46-yard line. Tristan Colaire on the return, taken down by number 11, Nick Coffey for the Privateers. And Norwich again will have great field position. They start from their own 46-yard line with a first down. Just under a minute to play here in the first quarter at Haynes Family Stadium at Sabine Field.
Yeah, good pressure on the kicker that time by the Cadets. He hit a low line drive, and that's what you want if you're back there catching punts. You want one of those low line drives that you can just take off before the tacklers get down there.
Again, James Dana Milan in as one of the running backs. Al Giorgio is the other. First down, Cadets. Foley takes the snap, play fake, keeps it. He'll toss it out on the option to Giorgio, and that isn't going anywhere, although that's very close to a face mask. Giorgio dragged down for a loss back at the 40-yard line. Again, it was Coffey, number 11, and he was up around the helmet with the hands. But
yeah, he was, but there was 3 defenders out there on that pitch, so Giorgio didn't have much of a chance out there by himself.
Loss of 6 yards. It'll be second down and 16 as Kavanaugh comes in with the play, replacing Milan. Clock running, coming down to 20 seconds to play in the first quarter. Foley rolling on second down, fires underneath and completes it to Kavanaugh, midfield, 45 and down around the 43-yard line, and he's got the first down. On second and 16, they toss the ball out to Mike Kavanaugh, and Norwich has a first down at the Maritime 42-yard line. Looks like that'll be the final play of the first quarter as the clock ticks down. We will take a commercial break and come back with second quarter action. After the first 15 minutes, Norwich 17 and SUNY Maritime 7. Back with the second quarter after these messages. This is Norwich football on NSN Sports. Quarter lead as we begin quarter number 2. Moving now left to right. The Cadets on your computer screen, and Kay and Foley to take the snap on first down. Handing it off to Al Giorgio. Hesitated and now struggles forward and takes it out to the 40-yard line. We got a flag flying in from the backside here. Penalty flag on the play, and it looks like a hold being signaled. Gain on the play of a couple. It would be a second down and 8. The flag is almost up at the first down marker at the 34-yard line.
Yeah.
Holding on the Cadets, charged on outside receiver Dan Jamison.
All right, yeah, one of the receivers out there was trying to pick up some more yardage for Giorgio there and kind of held him a little bit.
So it takes it back to midfield. Norwich now with a first down. It is first and 18 for the Cadets. Opening moments of the second quarter, Jamison, a 16-yard, 10-yard touchdown pass from Foley. Wes Medeiros, a 47-yard field goal. Al Giorgio, a 57-yard TD run. The play fake by Foley, keeps it himself to the 45, now bounces it to the right at the 40. 35, another great move, and he's down to the 30-yard line. Kayan Foley with a nice run, and he picks up the first down. They needed 18, and he got 20 on the rush.
It looked like a zigzag pattern he was running there. You can see it. He cut right, cut left, cut back to the right. Nice run.
First down for Norwich at the 30.
You see him put him in the belly there. Now he's off to his left. He cuts back to his right across the middle. And then he's going to cut back left again and then cut back out to the right again. Good run.
Back to live action from the Maritime 30-yard line. Foley in the gun. Milan is in as one of the backs. Giorgio the other. They give it to Giorgio up the middle. And Al Giorgio inside the 25. Forward progress down to the 24-yard line before he was stacked up. Again, number 11, Nick Coffey, in the middle of the defensive stop for Maritime, along with number 4, junior Hugh O'Brien. Second down and 4 for Norwich.
Yeah, and our offensive line is kind of pushing the Maritime defensive line around. I mean, they don't have the size that the other teams we face. They got one guy that's about 299, but for the most part, they're pretty small, 228, 240. 201 and 216, so they're not that big.
Now Foley fakes the handoff. First down inside the 20 down to the 15-yard line. He faked the handoff to Milan that time. And the ball to the 15. It is first down for Norwich. And just as you mentioned that, Billy, the Privateers bring a couple of big bodies off the bench, far sideline. Number 58 into the game, who is Eric Wallace. And the other guy looks like number 88. No, it must be 98. Edward Figueroa. First down, Norwich at the 15. And they give it to Kavanaugh, running it left, looking for room, ducks under a tackle, gets down to the 10, but we got another flag on this.
That looks like it might be a fake. Oh, it's a hold. It's a hold against Norwich.
So the Cadets pick up their second holding penalty of this drive. They overcame the first one. The foul landed the flag, I should say, landed at about the 12 or 13-yard line. They'll mark it off from there, take it back out to the 23.
Yeah, and that's what you want to try to avoid doing, George. You just came out of you just scored, and Maritime got the ball back, went 3 and out, and then you're moving the ball down the field. It just puts a huge damper in your momentum and stuff here as we're going inside the red zone, trying to put the ball in the end zone. Penalties, we don't need them down here.
First and 18, play fake, Foley to throw with time. Now he's going to hustle. He's wrapped up, and he will be sacked. He got rid of the ball late, and that's going to bring a flag, and that was a bad play by Foley.
Yeah, you got to hold on to that football and just take the sack. You got intentional grounding there. It's going to cost him a down and 15 yards.
Yeah, he was sacked back at the 28-yard line, and as he was about to hit the turf, he threw the ball away, and that's just now they're going to pick up the flag, though.
The quarterback was ruled down.
Oh,
wow.
So the boy, he catches a huge break there. They rule that he was down before he got rid of the football.
Yeah.
Boy, if I'm Maritime, I'm arguing that one up and down.
Yeah.
But I'm not Maritime, so we'll take it.
You got to be careful in those. That's what we talked about. We've talked about decision makings in our pregame. He's got to make the right decisions. It's easy to say from here, but as the quarterback, you got to learn how to tuck that ball sometimes and just eat it.
Now it is second down and 23 for Norwich at the Maritime 28-yard line. Foley in the gun. Giorgio to his right. 3 receivers to the right. They give it to Giorgio, stepping up into a hole, and he gets it down to the 21-yard line. Short gain, down to the 26-yard line, I should say. Short gain, a couple of yards. And it is still third and long. It's third and about 21 yards to go here for the Norwich offense. Into the ball game for the Cadets. Number 23, Jake Willett, sets up in a slot to the left side. And back to throw is Foley. Steps up into the pocket, and he'll run it at the 25, at the 20. To the 15 and steps out of bounds inside the 15-yard line, down around the 12. It will be 4th down, and here comes Medeiros and the field goal team.
Yeah, and that's one of the great luxuries we have. Okay, he didn't get the first down, but he put us in a decent position, field position with this new kicker to possible 3 points here. So you got to take that into consideration as you're the quarterback out here. He got out of bounds and got some extra yardage.
They'll put it down at the 19. 29-yard kick from the left hash mark. Ball down, boot in the air, kick is good. Wes Medeiros with his second field goal of the afternoon, a 29-yarder. And Norwich now with a 20-7 lead. 10:55 still to play here in the first half.
That's a nice weapon to have in your arsenal. It allows the offense to try and take some risks out there and take some chances when they know they got a field goal kicker. They can at least put 3 on the board and not stop your drive totally.
So the Cadets leading it by 13 with 10:55 remaining. Again, want to remind you, next Saturday, Norwich plays host to Anna Maria here, and it will be another kind of a momentous first occasion in what's been a season of momentous first occasions here at Sabine Field at Haynes Family Stadium. As next Saturday, Norwich will play a game which kicks off at 4 o'clock. We'll still have some daylight then, but by the time we get down to the end of it, it'll be the first Norwich home game ever under the lights here at Sabine.
When do we set the clocks back?
That's not until next month, I don't think.
Next month? Oh, well, they extended it, huh? Oh, good. That's good. You can see how alert I am up here.
Here's Medeiros to kick it off. Not your area of expertise.
Exactly.
Not that it's mine either. The ball fielded, and they reverse it. The handoff to Campanaro trying to get outside, but he will not. Cadets stay home and wrap him up back inside the 20-yard line. Number of Norwich players there. One of them was number 17, who is Derek Latito, the freshman out of Swansea, New Hampshire.
Yeah, now what? I don't see if we can see it on the replay, but what happens over there is the guys on the opposite side of the field. Here we go. Watch. He's gonna hand it off, and now if you look on top of the camera to the left side, all right, you're gonna see most of the cadets are maintaining contain out there. Okay, and that allows your pursuit to come in and make the tackle and put them in a hole back here. Great team effort by the cadets.
Maritime from their own 18. They give it to the big fullback Gardner, who bangs his way out over the 20. Wrapped up as he did so by the Norwich defensive line, and at the center of it for Norwich that time on the defensive stop was number 60, Peter Cannon, a freshman out of Stamford, Connecticut.
And the one thing that's really different from last game up here at Sabine, Georgia, is time of possession. I think the cadets have a lot more time of possession on offense this time than we did 2 weeks ago, that's for sure.
2nd down 6. Heisman to throw, has a man, and it's overthrown and incomplete. Intended for Frank Leno, who was open, but the pass just beyond his reach as he made the dive. It'll be 3rd down and 6. 3rd and 6. Norwich getting the defensive signals from the near sideline. Jepeth Solukwe, the big 6'3 freshman, is out there playing right now as the right defensive end for the Cadets.
Yeah, and he's really he's come a long way since he came to Northfield, I'll tell you. He had a great game last week at Gallaudet.
Here's a 3rd and long for Heisman. Brings a man in motion and keeps it on the option. Dives forward out over the 25, out to the 26. But he'll be a couple of yards short of the first down. And it will be 4th down and 2 for the Privateers, and they'll bring the punt team onto the field as John Arney will be called on to punt the football.
Another 3 and out for the Privateers, caused by the great play of the Norwich defense here.
Tristan Collier back to receive the punt for Norwich. Arney standing back at his own 11-yard line. Good snap. And the kick away. High and short. Collier fair catch signal at his own 44-yard line. And as they've had through most of this first half, Billy, Norwich again, great field position. They'll start, they set it down at the 45. And they've got a first down, leading here in the game 20-7.
Yeah, it's a big change for us. We've played the first 3 or 4 games with not a lot of great field position, and it's costly. Today we're a much more balanced, diversified team, both offense and defensive, so far in the contest here.
And we're seeing a lot more of the new kids. Milan is in there as one of the backs, Giorgio the other, Foley the sophomore quarterback. Brings Jamison in motion, and they give him the football, turning the left side, 45, and Dan Jamison takes it out across midfield and to the 49-yard line of SUNY Maritime, gain of 6 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 4 here for the Cadets.
Yeah, I've been campaigning for Milan here all season, so I'd love to see him break one here on Parents' Day. I'm not sure if his family's here from California or not, but certainly would be special.
Hand off up the middle, it's Giorgio, and he is wrapped up short gain. Took it to maybe the 48-yard line before he is squashed to the turf. A lot of the privateers in there, including number 99, Andrew Oriema, sophomore out of Melville, New York. Norwich has a 3rd and 3 here, just inside the Maritime 47-yard line. They keep Giorgio in as the single back, 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Foley calling for the football. He's going to throw for it. He looks, he fires, and he's got Matt Mulcahy. And out of bounds, far sideline. And that'll be a 1st down. Matt Mulcahy out of Essex Junction, Vermont, and Essex High School. His first catch of the day, had 5 last week at Gallaudet.
Yeah, he had a really great game there. And you notice, he's only a sophomore, I believe. And what he did was he went past the 1st down marker. He went out and got open past the first marker. He didn't stay inside. He went past it, and he's a smart receiver and made the catch.
From the 42, 1st down, Giorgio looking for room, and he breaks a tackle and got something out of nothing. Looked like he was about to get chopped down by number 4, Hugh O'Brien, coming up from his defensive corner spot, but Giorgio found a way to get 3 yards out of that, Bill. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, and we've said it all along. He's short in stature, but he's a real hard worker and he's a tough kid. So, but yeah, number 4 just kind of grabbed him by the shoulder pad and threw him to the ground there, and Giorgio somehow kept his balance and picked up a couple more yards.
2nd down and 7. Norwich at the Maritime 39. Play clock is apparently not operating today. It's at 0. They hand the ball off. Giorgio up the middle inside the 40, and he's down to about the 34. We got a flag flying in. I hadn't really thought about that until right now, Billy, but the play clocks, the one to our left is on 0, and the one to our right is totally off.
Offense holding.
We got another holding penalty against Norwich. This will be their 3rd holding penalty in their last 2 possessions. They've overcome them to this point. This one will take the ball back out to about the 44-yard line. They're going to end up with a 2nd down and 12. Yeah, Billy is trying to get the attention of the timekeepers next to us. But, Billy, I think the play clocks aren't working, because if you look at the one down here to our right, it's totally 0.
I just passed him the note over here, so hopefully they'll make the correction.
Now the snap to Foley, quick pass, completes it to Jamison at the 35. Jamison got popped, though. The ball came out, and looks like Maritime has recovered the football, and they have. Jamison got hit. Now Norwich is, I'm sure, going to argue that it maybe should be an incomplete pass, but they're calling it a completion and a Maritime recovery at about the 31-yard line.
But that ball came out after they were already on the ground scrambling. Watch, you'll see the tackle. They all go to the ground, and then you'll see he's going to go to the ground.
1st and 10.
Right there. Okay, now the ball was scored out over here on the other player. See how now the ball was scored out.
So you're saying it should have been stopped by contact.
It should have been down by contact.
1st down Maritime at their own 31. Norwich on the turnover. I guess we say controversial turnover, and here's the big fullback, Gardner, on the carry. Takes it all the way out to the 40-yard line, but another flag on this.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be holding on Maritime.
Ball at the 30-yard line.
Maybe not.
No, they were pointing in Norwich's direction.
Yeah.
Maybe Norwich was offside. They were.
Oh, my
And that'll
goodness.
be declined.
Wow.
So it's a
that.
9-yard gain and a 2nd and 1 coming up for the Privateers. Gardner, who's been contained the last couple of series after being very productive on their first possession, picked up 9 right there. First down for the second down and 1 for the Privateers just across their own 40, and Mark Murniak wants a timeout. Calls his defense together. Norwich leading it 20-7. And looked like they were on their way in for more than that, Billy, but the turnover on that controversial play. I don't know, Ben Albury, our producer today. Ben, if we can go back and take a look again at that fumble play. We don't have the best angle on it from where we are looking at the replay, but
it looked like they were the whole pile was down when the ball squirted out, and then somebody jumped on top of it.
Well, in any case, that's a big call, and it gave Maritime the ball and kind of caught the Norwich defense flat-footed on their first play after that.
Yeah, I think that's why Coach Murniak kind of ran out on the field and called timeout. He was a little bit wanted to make sure the defense understood the responsibilities and what was happening out there. So let's see if they make an adjustment here with 6:13 left in the first half.
Yeah, 6 minutes, 13 seconds remaining. Starting play today, of course, in the conference. Norwich had 1-1. Gallaudet 2-0 in the league, as is Maritime in league play. 2 victories and no losses. Gallaudet playing at Castleton this afternoon. Last report we had
21-0.
21-zip in favor of the Bison. Now it's 2nd and 1 for Maritime. The quarterback Heisman up under center. And he keeps it himself after faking it to the fullback. And Heisman takes it out for a first down as the ball is out to the 47, 48-yard line. Going to set it down at the 47.
Obviously, George, they're having a problem because that clock's not even on anymore.
Yeah, that's what I was
That one's
saying
zeroed
before.
out, so,
There is a problem with the play clocks, which means we're back to the old-fashioned system where the back judge keeps the time.
Exactly.
1st and 10. Privateers at their own 47-yard line. Heisman to throw. Fires, man there, and completes the pass. First down close to the Norwich 40-yard line. Number 18, Sean Belsky, 6'2 senior out of West Islip, New York, on the catch. And a first down for Maritime.
Yeah, it was a nice design play. He ran kind of like a hook, about a 7-yard hook. Got behind the linebacker and turned around. The ball was right in his chest. Good throw and good play by the Pirateers.
They split 2 men left. Gardner, the fullback, 2 wings either side as Heisman goes under center. And Heisman will keep it himself. Steps into a hole. Got close to the 35, about the 36. Then met by several cadets and pushed back. Down at the bottom of the pile for Norwich that time. Among the tacklers was big number 67 again, Bruce Mackey, the junior. Gain of 5 yards, 2nd down and 5 Maritime as they've moved it to the Norwich 36. Privateers marched it right down the field on their first possession to tie the game at 7-7. Norwich had responded with 13 straight points. But now the Privateers with their best drive since their opening possession of the game. 2nd down play, and it is the option keeper, and diving inside the 30 down to the 25-yard line. Heisman has the first down. First down for Maritime at the Norwich. Looks like they're going to put it down, I think, when all is said and done, at the 26. And they do.
Yeah, and Heisman, he's making good decisions right now. He's doing the reads that he needs to do. He needs to read the ball as he's doing the dive, and he needs to look at his halfback and whether or not he's going to pitch or keep the ball. And so far, he's making pretty good decisions on this drive.
Privateers split 2 receivers to the right. Everybody else sets in their standard formation. They bring Caponaro in motion, handed off up the middle to the fullback Gardner. And Gardner down to the 22-yard line, maybe the 21. Going to be at the 22 for a gain of 4 and a 2nd down and 6. Under 4 minutes to play in the first half here at Haynes Family Stadium on Sabine Field. Norwich 20 and Maritime 7.
And another good sign, George. We got people lined up around the fence again. That was a nice design they put in there with the fence You got people standing on the rails all the way around
A
the
lot of
stadium.
standing room. Now we've got motion all over the place, but no flags. There is a flag. Throw into the end zone, incomplete. Receiver trying to come up with the ball. That was Belsky. He was out of bounds if he had caught
looks
it.
like it's going to be offsides on Norwich.
Yeah, Norwich was coming. I thought there was a little movement on the Maritime offensive side, but apparently not. 5-yard penalty. That's a couple of those on this possession for Maritime, and now they're in a 2nd and 1. Couple of Norwich offsides on this Maritime drive. 2nd and 1 for Maritime now at the Norwich 17.
And so far this year, you haven't seen that very much on the defensive side of the football for the Cadets. They haven't committed a lot of penalties.
Now the quarterback Heisman under center brings Campanaro in motion, pitches him the football, trying to get outside, avoids one tackler, and Campanaro has the first down as he is ridden out of bounds down near the 10-yard line. Greg Campanaro, a 5'8 junior out of Nanut, New York. And it is 1st and 10 for Maritime at the Norwich 12-yard line. As we come down to 3 minutes to play in the first half, Norwich with a 20-7 lead. Heisman, I should say, up under center. Brings a man in motion and keeps it himself. Got forward close to the 5-yard line, then got stood up and pushed back. Looks like it's actually going to be down around the 7. And it will be 2nd down.
Yeah, just a quarterback keeper there and then went into the interior line. Nice play by the linebacker who came up and stood him up, as you said, George.
The ball is at the 7-yard line, and it is 2nd down and 5. Inside the Norwich 10. Heisman under center. Man in motion. Heisman gave it off up the middle to the fullback. And Gardner stacked up, didn't get a lot, but he might have gotten enough. Ethan Hanks was in there for the Cadets, several other tacklers as well. Let's see where they're going to put it down. It is inside the 5 at the 4, and it is short. It'll be 3rd down. 3rd and a long 2 for Maritime. They can get a first down at the 2-yard line. They are at the 4 right now. 3rd down play, opportunity for the Norwich defense. Hines up under center. Or Heisman, I should say. Takes the snap, hands it off, and Gardner on the carry, and I think he got it.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough spot there.
Gardner takes it to the 1. He certainly did get it. It's a first down. Now it is 1st down and goal to go for Maritime at the Norwich 1. Heisman takes the snap. Again, it's Gardner. Touchdown. From 1 yard out, 2nd touchdown of the afternoon for Kyle Gardner, and Maritime right back in it. It is 20-13.
Yeah, and you got to give them credit. They stuck with their offense. They kept running the option, moving the ball down the field. 5 yards, 4 yards, picking up the first downs and then plugging it into the end zone. Gardner's he's a big, strong back.
Now the extra point. This would, of course, make it a 6-point game. Dietrich to take the kick. They get it down. The boot is in the air, and it is good. So with 1:18 left here in the first half, Norwich's lead has been cut to 20-14. Cadets a pair of touchdowns and a pair of West Madero's field goals. 2 touchdowns converted for Maritime. And got to remember back to the start of that drive, Bill, it was a 69-yard drive for Maritime that started on a controversial fumble call against Norwich after a Dan Jamieson pass reception. Yeah, the officials said it was a fumble.
Yeah, and you watch the replay there. It was just a straight dive up off of the left side of the center, and Gardner just took it into the end zone 2 yards. He's a big, powerful back. Put the ball in there. But to your point, George, from Maritime's perspective, obviously the call was controversial, but they got the football and they did exactly what they needed to do on a turnover. You got to take advantage of that opportunity with the turnover and take it down the field and put it in the end zone. That's exactly what they did. So you got to give them credit on that. And the Norwich defense needs to take a look here and see how they can stop that nice option they're running.
Now, Dietrich is going to kick the football away. They're not keeping timeouts on the scoreboard again today, which I don't understand, but I think Norwich has 2 left.
Yeah, I think they've only taken 1, exactly.
The kick by Dietrich, end over end, and it is handled by Chaves straight up the middle. Sam Chaves to the 30, to the 40, and wrapped up and taken down at the 46-yard line. Sam Chaves, the Norwich running back out of the state of Maine, on the nice return, and the Cadets will have good field position at their own 47 with 1:10 to play in the half, looking to add to a 6-point lead.
There's another guy he's not very big, but he's got quick feet, and he's pretty tough out there. Just takes it right up the middle.
Sophomore from Alfred, Maine.
Nice cut back up there into the middle, and just keeps on running. Keeps the feet going, and nice return. Now the Cadets, now you got an opportunity for your so-called 2-minute offense, and see if you can put it down in the end zone or put it close so you can tack another 3 points on the board.
And they go with a reverse to Collier. Collier trying to get outside, got stripped, and the ball is picked up by Maritime and dragged out of bounds. The return man inside the 20-yard line. Number 23, Chris Class, scooped up the football. We got a flag on the play as well.
I think it's going to be holding on number 77, Matt Gallagher.
It is.
He couldn't get that block on. I don't know why you try a trick play like that. That's what happens when you try a trick play. And we didn't even see the end of it here. We're looking at the end of it. We didn't get to see the start of it. So maybe you can run that back for us, fellas.
Class scooped it back.
Yeah. Here we go. See, Matt Gallagher's right here, 77.
Yep.
Okay, in the bottom of your screen. He's going to come back, turn around, and now he's going to try to get out to help that guy, and he just grabs his shoulder, and there's the hold right there.
All right, live action. Maritime from the 17-yard line. They pitch the ball out. It's Leno trying to turn the corner to the 10, to the 5, to the goal line, and he's in for the touchdown. And just like that, Maritime has tied the game at 20 with 50 seconds left in the first half, and they get a chance for an extra point to take the lead.
2 turnovers, 2 costly turnovers, the thing that you really don't want to see happen here, especially with 50 seconds left in the half before you're going in. You got to maintain ball control. That razzle-dazzle probably wasn't going to be a touchdown anyway unless you're throwing it down the field. So a very, very risky play by the coaching staff of the Cadets.
Now Dietrich to try to give his team the lead. The boot in the air, and the kick is good. And Norwich had a 20-7 lead just a little over a minute ago, and now they are down 21-20 with 50 seconds to play in the first half.
Yeah, and you just see it takes it to the right side. We lost contain again. Those responsibilities over there, and then just dove into the end zone and got across the marker there.
So Frank Leno, the senior from Rockaway, New York, scoring the touchdown on the 18-yard run, and lightning has struck here in the final 2 minutes of the first half at Sabine, and a great first half for the Cadets has all gone up in a poof of smoke here at the end of the half.
Just on 2 plays. You know, it's hard to describe what the team's feeling right now. I know the crowd has certainly quieted down a lot.
Stunned, I believe, is the phrase.
Yeah, that's a good word, George. Stunned.
All right, Dietrich will kick it away. Collier and Chaves again back to return the kick. Chaves had a good return on the last one, but then Norwich turned it over on the trick play as Collier on the end around lost the handle on the football. Now Dietrich. End over end, and Chaves will get this back near the 5-yard line. And he fakes the reverse. They fumble the football. It is picked up. And Norwich will keep it inside the 10-yard line as they tried to hand it off to Collier, and the ball came out. And Collier got down on top and did get it covered up with 43.6 seconds left in the half.
Wow, I'm trying to maintain my positivity up here and my great attitude, but that's a real risky play. You know, just hang on to the football and pick up a couple yards and run the clock out and get into halftime and make your adjustments.
So the ball is at the 8-yard line. Norwich with a first down at their own 8. Foley in the gun, takes the snap, and he fakes the handoff, now looking for room, bounces it to the outside, gets a block, gets dragged down at the near sideline, did not get out of bounds, and the clock is running with 30 seconds remaining here in the half. The gain was out to about the 14-yard line. Second down play, clock running. Norwich not trying to stop it. Foley resets the club with 15 seconds. Foley takes the snap and hands it off up the middle. It's Al Giorgio. Nice run out to the 24. That's a first down. They'll stop the clock to move the chains. Will Norwich take a timeout here? Or will they just let it run out? Clock starts, and apparently they're just going to let it run out. So that is the end of the first half. Norwich in control for most of the first half, but they kicked themselves in the foot twice in the final 2 minutes. And Maritime got to be real happy, Billy, to be leaving the field leading this ball game by 1.
Yeah, they made a nice comeback. They settled their offense down. They just started working the ball down the field, and they had 2 great opportunities. And like we talked about earlier, they took advantage of those opportunities and put some points on the board. And they got a 1-point lead going into halftime. So
it's so frustrating because Norwich was doing so many things well for most of that first half, and we forget they were up 20-7. And as I said at the time, they looked like they were on their way in for more.
Right.
They had the ball inside the 30-yard or inside the 40-yard line, but then that controversial fumble. Of course, the other thing you got to remember, Norwich also got hit with 3 holding penalties on offense. 2 of them they overcame, turned them into scoring plays.
And they had 2 offsides as well.